This is a publication of the Hopkins County Republican Party. Please like the video and subscribe. Well, hi everybody. This video is about President Trump's performance review as of February 13th, 2025. This is a survey that was conducted for the Hopkins County, and I am Dan Bobet, and I'm part of the Hopkins County Republican Party. And this survey is based on the Republican Party priorities that were established at the 2024 Republican Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So, hey, let's dig in. I'm very happy to say that we got 116 responses from a variety of people. Which, that's pretty good. And if you look at this first chart here, right over here, we have 67.5% were Republicans or reported Republicans. We have 16.2 identified as independent, 11.1 identified as none or no party given, and that left 5.2% of our total 116 responses were from Democrats. Now, which is interesting when we take a look at chart number 2. Overall, at this point in time, rate President Trump and the Republican Party's performance so far. 50.4% said he exceeds expectations. 17.9% say he's on track in many areas. And that's the green right here. The orange, better than expected, but a ways to go. 5.1%, 6 people. The slow, it's slow. 2 people said it's slow, 1.7%. And poor was 29 folks said his performance is poor on an overall basis. Bear in mind, President Trump's been in office, a month, maybe, 4 weeks. So it's a pretty harsh review to rate him as poor, but okay. Overall, against these standards, maybe, perhaps. So, moving right along. Seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. This is, which one? Chart 3. We have 1, not meeting the requirements. And 5 is meets the requirements. So we have 74 folks out of the 116 feel that he is meeting the requirements to do this. But overall, if you add these all together, and usually what I'll do for, if it leans to the favorable side, I'll include number 3. If it leans to the not favorable side, I'll include number 3 in that count over there too. So, which is really kind of middle of the road. He's not meeting requirements. He's not meeting the requirements. Kind of a neutral position. But anyway, but if you add all these up, it amounts to 79.4 people or percent feel favorable towards sealing the border and stopping the migrant invasion. So let's move on. Carry out the largest deportation operation in history. 78.4% altogether feel that this is favorable performance or meets requirements. And again, we have, one says, nah, he's not doing a good job there. And it's pretty bad. Pardon me. So, anyway, end inflation and make America affordable again. Now, I wanted to see whether we were on track, too early to tell, somewhat on track, or not on track at all. So for not on track at all, we had 33 people scored it, and then that's 28.2% not on track. On track is 27 people, or 23% of the people said he was on track, and pretty much it's too early to tell. So 51 people, or 43%, said it's just too early to tell. And then somewhat on track, it's 5.1. So, we're split down the middle. And this kind of goes this way through all of these. We are divided. It's pretty clear that our country is somewhat divided. So stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. 78% people are pretty well optimistic that we can do this, or that this is happening. So he's cutting regulations. He's empowering business to come here. The tariffs are based on whether you're doing business in America or not. You're manufacturing in America, and people are starting to come that way. So I can see why we score that way. So yeah, outsourcing. I found in the electronics industry, we would outsource 1 year and bring everything in a couple of years later, and then outsource again. Now, maybe that was part of the presidential election over the years, but sure seemed to go that way on a regular basis. Large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips. A lot of optimism here. No tax on tips has already been mandated. However, in many cases we don't see Congress or legislature putting anything in place that would cement the deal on a lot of these things. So we change presidents, this is going to change back. So this could be a problem. But large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips. We're very optimistic that this is going to happen. So, okay, moving on. But on the other hand, we do have 28 folks out of 116 that say no. We're dead in the water here. We're not doing anything. So, interesting. To defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Let's see. No. With 74% are optimistic, and 29 people are think we're not meeting the requirements. So We'll see. I don't know that really anything has been done as far as the Second Amendment, right to keep and bear arms, or freedom of speech. Yeah, freedom. Yeah, there's something. It's really kind of too early to tell in some of these things. So let's move on. Prevent World War III, restore peace in Europe and in the Middle East, and build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our entire country. I think this is really kind of two issues all in one. Preventing World War III is one. Restore peace in Europe and in the Middle East, that's actually two more. So we've kind of rolled a lot of stuff into this one. But again, there is a lot of optimism that this is going to happen. So it kind of leaned to the right side of meets the requirements. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we can get that war in Ukraine stopped and stop the killing over there. That'd be great. It's supposed to happen pretty soon. So, end the weaponization of government against the American people. Yeah, this pretty much, again, we're divided. We have 27 folks out of 116 say we don't meet the requirements here. So we haven't. I don't really see that we've forgiven a lot of what went on in the past. However, we've forgiven some of what's gone on in the past. But we are where we are, I guess. We'll see how this develops. Right now, we're fairly optimistic as in our county that we will meet requirements in this area to end weaponization of government. So, stop the migrant crime epidemic and demolish the foreign drug cartels. Crush gang violence and lock up violent offenders. You know what? 79% of the people polled from here over are saying, yeah, we're pretty optimistic and pretty sure that we meet the requirements. However, we still have 19 folks over here who are saying, no, we aren't doing that. But a lot of MS-13 guys are getting rounded up and shipped out of here. So we'll see what happens on this one too. So here we go. Rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. Interesting. I'd say we're probably more middle of the road on that. It doesn't seem to be high on the priority list just yet. 36, 50, you know, we're divided about half and half. Some are saying, yeah, we're meeting the requirements. And that might be a result of doing something about the migrant situation, doing something about the homeless situation. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. But it looks like we're pretty much divided right down the middle here, with half of them going this way and half of them going that way. So we got work to do there. So President Trump, you got work to do in rebuilding our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. Moving on. Strengthen and modernize our military, making it without question the strongest and most powerful in the world. Well, we got a new leader there, and this chart shows the optimism in our 116 folks that say, yeah, we're meeting those requirements. We're doing some stuff about that. Pete Hegseth, he's out there doing a job there with the military, and I wish him luck. That's going to be a tough job. So, but we still have 26 people who are not convinced. So, hopefully, this will improve. Keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. Again, we're somewhat divided. We've got 27 people who are not convinced that we're doing that. And so that's about a quarter, maybe 20%, and 23% are saying they aren't convinced. The rest of the group, yeah, we're optimistic here. We're optimistic here, and we believe we are doing the job here. Now, there was a new currency that was supposed to come out, and some countries were backing it, and as a world leader in currency, and that's been pretty much crushed. I haven't heard another word about that. So, yeah, that's where we're at with that. Fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. We have a lot of optimism here. But, and again, you know, we have 30 of our 116 folks are not convinced that Social Security will not be affected. So, and, you know, I can understand that. There are some findings by the Doge that we have a lot of people on the Social Security rolls that are 150 years old, so or dead, and they're still collecting the Social Security. So let's get that cleaned up and get the money to live people who need it, and we'll see how this improves. Cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cut costly, burdensome regulations. Very optimistic here, with 75% of our people polled optimistic or agree that we are doing that. The electric vehicle mandate has been reversed, so we don't have to worry about trading in our tractors for some silly, I don't know, electric thing out there. But then again, you know, 27 folks are not convinced. So we have a little bit of division here. Hopefully these will go down over the months. The next chart is on cutting federal funding for any school, pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate radical sexual or political content on our children. So, yeah, we've got 75% of the people polled agree or are optimistic that this is being done. And we still have 21 folks over here who are not convinced that that there's any good performance going on in that area. So, keep men out of women's sports. I think we can all agree that this is, a lot of work has been done with the stroke of a pen here Riley Gaines. We got 90 of our 116 people say we have met the requirements here. We have 17 over here who say, no, we haven't met the requirements keeping men out of women's sports. So it is happening. We keep hearing other sports are beginning to adopt it, and hopefully the Olympics will not allow men to compete in the Olympics as women. That's just baloney. So we'll see what happens. At least that's my opinion, that it's baloney. Might not be your opinion, that's okay. But it's my opinion, and it's my video, so I can say what I want. Deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. Again, we have a vast number of our people polled agree that we're on track here and optimistic, or actually have satisfied that requirement. We have 23 folks over here who aren't convinced yet that we're getting the radicals out of our college campuses. We'll see what happens. Secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. I got to say for myself, I don't know that this is going to happen without congressional action. So the Congress really needs a bill that will address voting and pass into law that voter ID is required in order to satisfy this. And I believe that is the crux of this issue. Securing our elections is critical. So we have 77%, 40, 50, 60, 77% are either optimistic that it's going to happen or agree that it's already happened. So, and we have 26 folks on this side who say no. We aren't meeting the requirements there. I believe we've got a lot of work to do in that area, and I believe our Congress has to get shaken on it. So, unite our country by bringing it to a new and record level of success. This is where our division exists. Well, our division exists throughout the entire survey. But here we see that 36 people, or 31%, say there's no progress here. We haven't done it, and we aren't doing it. It needs to be done. Change is coming slowly, 10%. I believe I'm one of them 10%. Mediocre progress is 2.6%. So there's a lot of work to be done here, a lot of compromise that needs to be made. We need to find a way to get the Democrats to begin to realize that they have been taken advantage of for a while, and that we'll work with them if they'll work with us. So some progress, it's getting better. 37 people, which means 31.9% of our survey, say there's some progress, it's getting better. And then 25.9% of the folks believe that it meets the requirements. So, you combine the 31 and the 25, we've got a good 56% of our surveyed people believe we're on track for uniting our country and bringing it to new and record levels of success. We'll see what happens. we'll keep watching it. Now, before I get into the comments, let me say there were some rude comments here. And really, that's not the platform. This isn't the platform for that. I understand your frustration if you're a Democrat and you're looking at this and you say, oh boy, I can't do all this. Okay, fine. Then maybe you shouldn't take the survey, but we would really like your opinion, and we'd like to know more than your opinion of Donald Trump. Because these priorities were put together by thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of Republicans all across the country. And this is what we want him to work on. So, this is it. So, we have 36 responses to the comments. One's Make America Great. Constitutional crisis, breaking the law by bypassing Congress, breaking international law by trying to seize foreign nations. Okay. I filled out my responses first, and I wanted to identify which ones they were. We were so lucky to have Trump. We are so lucky to have Trump 2.0. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Social Security needs a lot of attention after we get control on spending. Yeah, okay. Trump's doing what he said he would do. I am not surprised, just amazed at his energy and quick thinking. He's working hard for this country. As for foreign policy, I especially appreciate his support of Israel. Oh, very good. These questions show truly how divided you actually want America to be. No. This is a tragic display of hatred, racism, and pure lack of education. Separation of church and state was part of our founding documents. Jesus loved everyone. If Jesus showed up today and started preaching his beliefs, you would all shun him. If any of you think this is what will get you into heaven or fix this country, you are sorely wrong. I hope someone in this group can find the power in their hearts to truly love thy neighbor. Your idol is not God. He is not a Republican. He is a reality TV billionaire that would be disgusted to see your homes, the cars you drive, and your families. Once you realize the only thing he cares about and has ever cared about is control and his net worth, we can maybe become a unified country that focuses on education, safe food, housing, and health care for all. Okay, that's your opinion. President Trump is a joke. He's working with the billionaire class and against the large working class. The Texas Republican Party is even a bigger joke. Pro-life, more like pro-guns, and end up killing our kids. That end up killing our kids. They couldn't care less about the well-being of others. What a shame to this country. Laughable. It ain't no joke, bud. He and Vice President Vance are doing everything they possibly can, so let's keep encouraging them to keep their promises. Push-pull, push-proof, push-pull. Don't know what that means. Trump will never make America great. He is ripping the division farther and farther. The stupidity that he has done thus far is just a wide-scale temper tantrum trying to prove that he is somehow better than any Democrat. In my honest opinion, no person who has filed bankruptcy on their business to intentionally avoid paying taxes should never be in charge of the country, regardless of their political affiliation. I think you need to research that a little bit more. And no, I'm not a Democrat. My voting is based on the candidates within each election. Okay. All right. He's doing a great job so far, but I wish he'd speak more about how long it is anticipated for prices to fall. And I really wish he'd speak would make a statement directly to the American people on the Democratic people protesting and filing lawsuits over Doge. If he would directly address the crap the Democrats are saying, I feel it would help their nonsense quicker so this country can try to reunite as one again. Thank you. Well, you are welcome. Trump is doing more than I had hoped for. Can you imagine that he could accomplish what he could accomplish if the Democrats would follow the law and do what the citizens of the USA voted for? Trump is doing everything he said he would do. He doesn't lie to the public like the past administration did, and he is transparent, unlike Democrats. He is building a dream team and doing great again. President Trump is doing a great job with the country. He might not always agree with, we might not always agree with his past, but he's a businessman that doesn't take any crap. This administration is derelict in its duties to the Constitution and the American people. We deserve better. Stop dividing us. What would Jesus do? I don't know. Jesus don't get to be in charge, I guess. It's only been 3 weeks, and I think I think it will get better. He's done a lot with EOs, but the legislature needs to follow the law. Executive orders. But the legislature needs to follow with laws to make it long-lasting. The biggest problem is the other party, some of the Republican Party, the judicial branch, and others fighting him on everything. I appreciate the work the president's DOGE is doing. I hope they don't lose momentum. It's really too early to tell, but things are looking better. Here's a long one. What we are witnessing right now is a critical moment for the Republican Party and the future of American leadership. It's far too early to determine whether Trump's current actions will ultimately benefit the nation, but one thing is clear. The days of America being on the cusp of superpower status, as we were in 2016 and through the end of 2019, seem to be a distant memory. Instead of prioritizing economic growth and national strength, we find ourselves embroiled in endless cultural battles that distract from real policy concerns. Meanwhile, Trump continues to engage in performative politics, more focused on antagonizing the left and uniting the country under a strong conservative vision. This kind of political gamesmanship is a disservice to the very movement that put him in office. As a Republican voter, I am deeply disappointed in both the national and Texas GOP. The party seems more concerned with the scoring points in ideological skirmishes than with crafting a serious strategic roadmap for long-term success. The hard truth is that emotional voting is a liability. If Republicans continue to let sentimentality and reactionary politics dictate our choices, we will hand Texas and ultimately the country back to the Democrats in 2026. We've seen this before in 2018, and if we don't change course, history will repeat itself. It's time for the GOP to refocus, recalibrate, and start leading the policy, not just rhetoric. I agree with most of that. That was good. Somebody put some thought into that. I appreciate that. The next one says, I don't agree with a lot of things in here, so why would I rate it if I shouldn't be doing it at all? Or if he shouldn't be doing it at all? Stop pushing school vouchers. If school vouchers are passed, let's make the private schools follow the same rules for testing and set the price they charge per student so that they have to take everyone regardless of race or disability. Plus, make each student worth the same daily rate regardless if they are enrolled in public or private school. Well, you know, one of the things that I experienced in California was we had the same footprint pretty much as Palo Alto. Our little city was directly across the bay from Palo Alto. And at 13 square miles, we had basically the same tax base. However, it was measured at a different rate. And so Palo Alto's students received 3 times the same amount of money, or 3 times the ADA as we did in our little town. We were less than 5 miles away. That's funny. Anyway, there's a little side story there. Next one. He is doing a terrible job. He was supposed to lower prices, except his policies are increasing them. And why is Elon Musk getting access to citizens' private data, which is illegal? It might be illegal, but there are more criminals with your private data, I think, out there than Elon Musk. I believe that Trump is, and besides that, he doesn't need your money or my money. I believe that Trump is a huge danger to this country and is quickly putting us on the path to fascism. He is hiding his failures behind distractions like the Gulf of America and dividing the country more than ever. His outright racism, sexism, and homophobia is apparent, and it's making the country a more dangerous place for many Americans. You know, I haven't seen that racism or sexism or homophobia, but geez, I'll have to look closer. Okay, we're coming up on a rude comment here. I got to be careful not to show it. All right. He has only been in office for 3 weeks, and he hit the ground running. He is playing rope-a-dope with the Democrats, and they are losing their minds. Well, yeah, that is true. How about groceries are sky high, DEI included, my veteran status. Now I can't get a job. Wow. Diversity, equity, and inclusion included my veteran status. I wonder how that worked. A little further explanation would be good on that one. Okay, let's move up here. You know, I got dueling nasty comments. Thank you, Lord, for President Trump. That's nice. This is why America voted for him. He's doing exactly what we wanted, cleaning house. The only thing I disagree with this Republican Party is that there should be no tax funds used for private schools unless they have to submit to the same accountability and regulations the public schools do. Okay? I'm happy with the job Trump is doing. I'm so pleased with President Trump's policies and actions. By his name alone, he shows strength. However, I believe there are better ways to go about leading our country. He's just a bad president, and fight, fight, fight. So, we are quite divided in our comments, and there were a number of comments there that were pointed directly at the Republicans in power here in Texas, especially regarding education. the education bill is out. I would recommend that you read it and take a look at it. I have not read it in depth, and I consider myself somewhat of a education expert from a management standpoint. So it would be interesting to read that, and I'll get on it. But anyway, that's the end of our video. I appreciate you sticking all the way to the end. If you have, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please come back to our Facebook page as well. HopkinsCountyGOP.org is our website, and Hopkins County GOP is our Facebook account. So, yeah, please visit that and comment. As long as it's civil, I have no problem with it. But the F Trumps and stuff like that have no place. We aren't effing Biden, even though, it's pretty much what we all think. So, anyway, poor old guy. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Talk to you later. We're going to do this probably quarterly. I think that'd be a good idea. How about you? Please let us know. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow us on Facebook. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And we'll see you next time. Thanks again.